प्रिय श्रोता बंधु 90.4 मेगाहर्ज रे आपण माने सुनुछंती रेवेन्सा रेडियो ओडिसा रा प्रथम कैंपस कम्युनिटी रेडियो स्टेशन.
Good afternoon, Katak. Today's temperature is 31 degrees Celsius and humidity is 79%. It's sunny outside with a low chance of precipitation. It's 11:30 a.m. in the morning and you are listening to Ravenshaw Radio 90.4 FM. This is your RJ Sneha
and RJ Shruti, and today we'll be talking about role of advertisement in promotion of tourism in Odisha. Advertisement is one of the most important factors that help the tourism industry to generate tourists from both the local and international marketplace. Tourism advertising helps the visitor to get familiar with the place even before visiting it personally. Tourism in Odisha is one of the main contributors of economy of the Odisha with a 500-kilometer long coastline, mountains, lakes, natural biodiversity and rivers. Odisha is one of the major tourist sectors of India with various tourist attractions not only ranging from wildlife and reserves but also beaches, temples, mountains, arts and festivals.
Today we have with us our esteemed honorable guest Dr. Debilal Mishra, a poet, writer, assistant professor of JMC Department in Ravenshaw University. I welcome you, sir, and I request you to enlighten us about today's topic, role of advertisement in promotion of tourism in Odisha.
Thank you. First of all, I thank all the members of Ravenshaw Radio for having me here. And this is a very interesting topic to discuss. And as you have mentioned, tourism is quite a potential sector as far as Odisha is concerned, the economy of Odisha is concerned. And when we talk about tourism as a sector, we need great footfall of people, right? So when people will come, when people will enjoy, people will feel comfortable being in Odisha, then only the tourism sector will get a good boost. So for this, communication plays an important role, and when you talk about advertising, it is also a form of communication, and that attracts people through various forms, through the various manners, and as a result, our economy is boosted, and we get to know the cultural knowledge, cultural information, and we have people from across the country in Odisha, and the tourism sector is publicized that way.
So moving ahead to our discussion on the topic, sir, how do you think is advertisement promoting tourism in industry?
Yes, see, when we advertise through various forms, through various media for that matter, it is centered on attracting people, attracting the attention of the people towards the best features of Odisha tourism, as the tourism department brands it as India's best kept secret,
Exactly.
Odisha. And so there are a lot of potential aspects as far as the Odisha tourism is concerned. And Odisha tourism is multifaceted. You have forest tourism, you have wildlife tourism, you have water tourism, you have spiritual tourism, you have temple tourism. So there is a lot for the visitors to see and get familiar with. So Odisha tourism is growing both in degree and influence. So the major result goes to effective advertising, effective branding for that matter, and that way advertising effectively promotes our tourism and the prospects associated with it.
Yes, sir, correct. So, sir, moving on to the next question, it is basically seen that advertisement is quite expensive. The one who is doing the advertisement, basically the shopkeeper, or you can say the tourist sector, are spending a lot of money in it. So, how can we say that we can reduce it, or what are the methods we can just reduce it?
Yes, the government is taking various measures, various steps to advertise publicize the tourism industry. And as far as the private players are concerned, there are so many ways, so many steps the advertisement is done, the advertising activities are done. And you are right in saying that it's an expensive affair. Yet the outcome is more potential, and is more attractive. So once it is effectively done, it can attract so many stakeholders,
Yeah.
resulting in the boost that we are talking
Yeah,
about.
so basically, once the advertisement is done correctly, again the money would be multiplied in that
Exactly,
way. Yeah,
exactly.
so that
Yes.
works that way. Good.
So next question is, Odisha is frequently hit by devastating floods almost every year, so which causes a lots of damage to its beauty and wealth. So how do you think, sir, we can solve this problem?
See, these days we are having a very, I must say, effective disaster management model, and we could be able to attract the attention of the world community when it comes to disaster management. And you see, during the last Fani, the severe cyclonic storm, there was a heavy damage to tourism industry, especially because it affected the Puri, the coastal region more. And you see how the Puri Konark Marine Drive was affected,
Correct,
worst
correct.
hit. But see, every catastrophe, every disaster also gives you opportunities to rebuild yourself. And that way, our tourism has rejuvenated like never before, and we see how fast we have come to the track of attracting people and again glorifying our past and present.
Yes, sir. So moving on to the next question, it is usually seen that there is some network issues in the tourist sector. Like if we talk about Srinagar or Lonavala in the hill station places, there is some network issues. So how can you think that the network issue can be just better in a done in a better way so that there is
Okay, you
better
see,
connections?
every geographical location has got its own limitations. So that way, there are so many ways to address the problem, and the government is also spending so much on the development of infrastructure. And with collective effort and a strong administrative intent, this problem can be addressed better.
Yes, sir. And sir, as we know, social media is a great means of communication and advertisement, but due to this network issues, there lies a gap in the advertisement process. So, sir, how do you think this problem can be solved?
See, advertisement is done at various levels. Social media is just one platform, and
Exactly.
yes, every platform has got their own segmentation of audiences. So there are so many ways, so many levels to do advertising. And yes, we are also working on the new media prospects that can take the advertisement to the next level,
Hmm.
or the advertising campaigns, activities, all sorts of things. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of the planning we are doing or the government is doing, and the prospects we can achieve.
Yes, sir, but don't you think that there should be some Wi-Fi connection or data something by the government in this?
Exactly, it is being done. It is being done in various places, though somewhere it is lacking. But yes, the government is working on it because the government has taken the tourism sector as its top priority. As you have mentioned, that it contributes a lot to our economy, to our public relations, the state public relations. So
Yes, sir.
it's a matter of great priority, and rising above the limitations, the government is looking at a great setup so that our tourism can stand out.
Okay, sir. So, sir, talking about tourism, so what do you think? How is Odisha's tourism, and what is your experience in Odisha about tourism?
I have already said that Odisha is having a great prospect as far as tourism is concerned. We have a great coastline, we have temples, we have heritage, we have history, we have forests, we have great places of tourist interest. So we need a great branding, a great packaging, and before the tourists, when they visit our places, they should feel complete in all respects. For example, we need to work more on our hospitality sector. We need to work more on the environment. We need to work more on hygiene. We need to work more on the behavioral aspects as well. So taken together, everything considered, I think Odisha tourism is quite potential, and it can stand out uh, uh, both at national and international levels.
Yes, so we see that Odisha is very good in its tourism, but there is also another factor which is always ignorant, that when some of the foreigners, you can say, they are coming into Odisha, There are certain things, certain theft and everything. So, what is your stake on that?
See, these things, they're everywhere, these elements are everywhere. That is why I said we need to work on behavioral infrastructure also, where we
Exactly.
can make the tourists feel at home,
Yeah.
make them feel secure, make them feel emotionally safe. So we need to create a climate, a holistic climate as far as tourism is concerned.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And sir, as we see nowadays, mostly from the consumer point of view, we avoid advertisement because it is seen everywhere, be it TV or YouTube, social media. So, how can we make the tourism advertisement more effective?
Yes, that we see at every place of great tourist interest. There are shows by the government. Government has got its own machinery to propagate or publicize our tourist sites, its interest, history, all of it. So we have exhibitions, we have light and sound shows, we have all sorts of interactive machineries there. So government has got its own ways of publicizing things, and it is good that when we interact with the tourists and we create a climate of communication, and there take place so many things that attract them, that highly engross them, and in turn our tourism gets a desired
Yeah,
boost.
yeah, yeah. So, sir, as you talked about the government, obviously the government of Odisha is doing a great job in tourism sector. But also at the same time, there are certain things that is lacking in. So, sir, what do you think? What steps should be taken as a government or as a citizens to increase the tourism? Because it is ultimately us who is promoting it.
See, every sector has got its own stakeholders. It is not the sole responsibility of the government, or the government cannot do everything.
Yeah.
So, common people, they are also very, very important stakeholder in the whole
Correct.
process, right? So, when people are visiting a particular place, it is the duty of the local people to give them a good hospitality, to give them a good behavioral response,
Correct.
so that
Correct.
they go with a good memory, a very the very beautiful memory. And if we can give all our tourists the beautiful memories, it will just what I must say, it will just improve upon the tourism, as well as it will give them another reason to revisit the places.
Yes, sir. But sir, in Odisha also there are some places which are world famous, but some places like Koraput we can see there, which are located in Western Odisha, are not that much famous. So, sir, what steps can be taken to like highlight them?
No, there are so many places. Those places are worth seeing, worth visiting,
Yes.
but people could not visit that because of so many limitations, like infrastructure, transport facilities are not available frequently,
Yeah.
and the problems of safety, security, all sorts of things are there. So the government is also working on it, and the government should work on it
Exactly.
in full swing, because there are so many unexplored places in
Exactly.
Odisha that are very fascinating. All right, so we need to do great advertising. We need to do great publicity to bring these places
Yes.
to the limelight, to the attention of the people, to the mass attention, we must say. And we need to effectively utilize the potential of the media, mass media, in this respect as well. And and working on some common things, just like infrastructure, transport, hospitality, we can pave the way for the tourists.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, sir, as you said, tourism is not just tourism, it is the mixture of every other things, like you can say infrastructure, transportation, as you have earlier mentioned. So, sir, what is the basic element which should be there that is the main pillar of tourism?
See, first thing is the climate. We need to give the tourists a very beautiful climate,
Yeah.
very beautiful atmosphere, right? And every place has got its own original vibes, history, heritage, right, and uniqueness.
Yes, sir.
So you learn a lot from all these places, monuments, temples. It carries history, it carries heritage, it carries a distinct culture of its own. But we need to market it properly, we need to package it properly for the
Mm-hmm.
tourists, and more importantly, we need to give them a good hospitality, a good ambience to visit and feel good in.
Correct, correct. So,
Yes. Yes, sir, but tourism also leads to the exploitation of natural resources, as we see that mostly tourist places are polluted by the visitor they visit. So, what steps can be taken to like reduce the pollution?
That is the reason why we see recently the concept of ecotourism in place,
yeah.
where we can judiciously blend tourism with ecology and take care of the ecological dynamics of tourism, because environment is of utmost importance, so we just can't let the environment die or deteriorate for that matter. So tourism and ecological balance must go together, and nature offers a vast opportunity for tourism provided it is managed properly, so the government is also working towards it quite vigorously, and in the future we may hope for the best picture.
Yes, sir. So, sir, we are in the 21st century, seeing advertisements here and there, everywhere probably. So, basically, advertisements are in many forms nowadays. In YouTube ad, we can see it on Facebook. So, sir, what do you think which is the best form of advertisement for tourism sector?
See, every media platform has got its own sets of audiences, right?
Yes.
You have ranging from traditional media to new media,
Correct.
right? So that way, every media house, every media platform has got its own audiences. So our advertising approach should be centered on a holistic, vision, so that we can reach maximum number of people, because we are communicating to diverse audiences we are not aware of.
Yeah.
So we should work on the content, and we should choose the right media platform to pitch that content on, and we should try for better understanding of the tourists.
Yeah,
We need
exactly.
to understand them, we need to understand what they need, what they like, what they do not like, their taste, preference and perception, so that we can better design the communication through advertising, and in turn we can attract maximum footfalls.
Yes, sir. So, sir, basically, it is seen that Facebook is nowadays a user of like more than 34, while Instagram is a user of 18 to 34. So, the content on Instagram should be like 18 to 34 people so that they can attract the tourist of that sort. So, like if we are promoting Kedarnath sort of thing, so that should go on Facebook, and if we are promoting Greece sort of thing, then it should go with Instagram. Is that a sort of thing you think?
See, every media platform, when we talk about the content, it is quite unique to every media platform. For example, you are talking about Instagram. The content for Instagram is unique. The content for other social networking sites is unique. The content for newspaper is unique. The content for radio is unique. Every media platform
Yes.
has got its own unique content, or the content of every media platform has got its own unique character. So you need to take that in mind, the basic nature of the medium we are communicating with, and more importantly, the audience we are communicating to.
Exactly.
So medium is just something in the middle, right? And but you need to take care of the content. We need to generate interesting content, attractive content that will be appreciated by the audience, and they will be attracted, and the tourism will get the boost as we are talking about.
Correct, correct.
Yes, sir. And sir, as we know, usually females are preferred over males in the communication services like be it hotel receptionist or air hostess. Sir, so what are your views on this?
See, the viewer is not something very exciting, but see, we look for people who can offer best hospitality to the visitors, right?
Yes.
So, if you say that females are preferred, they must be preferred for certain qualities, right? And you have males at certain positions, you have females at certain positions. So, our approach should be at the development of the entire sector, the development of our services, the improvement in our services, right?
Also.
So, it may be males, it may be females, but we need to work effectively on the target and the goal. That is more important.
Yes, sir.
sir, how do you think is India trying to develop the tourism sector? Like, what are the steps taken by government to develop its tourism?
Yes, we have already discussed that. We are working for the ecological dynamics. Then we are working for better hospitality, better infrastructure, better transport, better healthcare for the tourists as well. So these are the things, and we are also working for better economic opportunities.
Yes, sir.
Right?
So we see in a certain places there are not so much of development. However, it is very nice. It is some places that can be world recognized places. So, sir, what is your stake? How can it can be economically developed those areas? Because every time people don't have that much of money to invest into it. So, what can be done?
So firstly, we need to bring those places to mass attention. First thing. Second, we need to work on the environmental conditions. We need to work on the infrastructure, and we need to work on the unique culture that the place carries. So every place has got its own unique culture, and that culture can be of great economic interest. So we need to explore. We need to explore, and we need to look at it from a research-driven perspective.
So, sir, basically in tourism sector, research is very important. Basically, if somebody is coming to some place, so I guess research is one of the most. So, sir, research. How should a research be done? Ki if you have to come to a Puri or not Koraput, why is people choosing Puri over Koraput and not Koraput?
Yeah, it actually depends on so many factors, ranging from personal interest to particular purposes. So it varies. It varies. The taste varies from person to person, from individual to individual. But yes, you rightly pointed out, research is a very important component, and you need to do research on your visitors. You need to do research on their taste. You need to do research on their culture as well, so that you can give them a desired experience, and that will work for your own tourism sector.
So, sir, if there is a place which is full of, you can say, forest and everything, and nowadays we can see the world is full of population, and if there are a set of people trying to cut or destroy the natural beauty just because they have to build infrastructure and stuffs like that, what should be the step of the government basically? Because both the way it is important. So, what should be
Yes,
done?
the government should come out with sustainable approaches,
Yeah.
so that our ecological balance is maintained, and we need to explore the tourist destinations with a renewed research-driven perspective, as we were discussing little while ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And sir, as we see previously, the foreign visitors to India were more, but now due to several reasons, be it pandemic or any other reason, it is declined. So, what steps can be taken by the government to increase it again?
See, there are so many factors that are not under our control, and there are factors we have control on. So we need to clearly classify those factors, what we can control and what we can't control. For
Exactly.
example, the current international situation. If there is a war-like situation, if there are instances of terrorism or
Any other
cross-border
thing, yeah.
tensions or
Just
something
like
like
in
that.
Srinagar and Kashmir.
Exactly. So that we cannot control. Okay,
Yeah.
because we cannot control the foreign policy of other countries. But what we can control, we can control our resources. We can control our workforce. We can control our infrastructure. We can work on so many things like hospitality. We can work on ecology. We can work on health. We can work on other touristic preferences. Right.
Exactly.
So we need to work on that. So there are situations like disaster, just like the COVID scenario,
Exactly.
that we cannot
Pandemic.
control the pandemic. We are not aware of so many things. But what we can control, we need to control.
Yes, sir. So as you talked about pandemic, in pandemic, I guess the hugest loss if we had was in tourism sector because due to pandemic, people just could not come and enjoy the views and everything. So at that point of time, there are a lot of hotels and everything that has come to a shutdown because of pandemic. So what is your stance like how it can grow as for now? Because coming out of a loss is not a easy thing. So how can they attract more tourists to their places?
Exactly, and you see, it is quite natural when people do not come, when people do not visit. You cannot have economic transactions, right? Economic interactions. So that way the economy will be affected, and as you see, the pandemic has greatly affected the economy.
Yeah.
Okay. And the hospitality sector, you talk about the hospitality, the that carries the hotels, the tourism, all sorts of things. Because when people will not be there, you cannot have any kind of economic opportunities. But let's hope the situations get better every other day, and we have people swarming in as before, and we have opportunities all around, and situation
Exactly.
is also getting better, and we should be having the hope that the world will be better again.
Exactly, sir.
Yes, sir. So we see, sir, in the tourist places, usually there is a language difference between the tourist and the local people. So, linguistic communication barrier is faced by them. So, which is a hindrance in the tourism development. So, how can we improve this problem?
The government is also having various mechanisms for that. For an example, if we have people from different cultures, we have our own machinery in place. But yes, linguistic barrier is not that much of a barrier, we must say, because we have tourists coming from different places, and they're having quite an enjoyable stay. So our guides, the tourist guides and the infrastructure that is in place, it has to be quite flexible, and the government needs to take care, as you said, the linguistic barrier through so many mechanisms. Like we need to have interactive facilities for the
True,
tourists,
true, true.
and we need to have linguistic support staff,
Yeah,
language support
exactly.
staff, so that they can interact, and when they need some interaction for something, and they can we can help them.
Yeah. So not only that, even the banners and hoardings which are put, basically, if I specifically point out, I'm a Hindi, but if I go to South and then I see a hoarding in Telugu or Tamil, it would be very difficult for me to understand what is written. At the same time, again, that what she said, there is a linguistic barrier.
No, see, actually, the places that are identified by the culture ministry, you see, even in your locality, there are places branded as Incredible India,
Yes.
and you find the, I mean, the script in two or three different languages: the local language, the English, and the Hindi.
Yes.
So since English is for international interaction, and the medium of, we call it lingua franca, so English is being stressed upon when it comes to tourism. We say English is the language of tourism. So that way, for communication, English, Hindi, and any local language is usually stressed.
So, sir, what do you think, which is the most basic language that people should know, or should advertisement be done in that particular language?
See, when you have people coming from various places at an international level, so you mostly go for English as the language, right?
Okay, sir.
Because you can reach out to maximum number of people through English. So that's why all our branding and marketing stuffs
Yeah,
are
basically.
done in English.
English.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, sir. So, sir, this show has been quite informative and enthusiastic one. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your knowledge and views. This would surely help all our listeners in the future as well. So that's all for today. This is RJ Sneha.
And RJ Shruti, and you are listening to Ravenshaw Radio 90.4 FM. Keep listening. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
প্রিয় শ্ରୋତା ବନ୍ଧୁ 90.4 ମେଗା ହର୍ଜରେ ଆପଣମାନେ ଶୁଣୁଛନ୍ତି ରେଭେନ୍ସା ରେଡିଓ, ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ପ୍ରଥମ କ୍ୟାମ୍ପସ୍ କମ୍ୟୁନିଟି ରେଡିଓ ଷ୍ଟେସନ।